having recess at 11:06. Okay, I don't know who all got to listen to the governor's call at 2:30. Did all of y'all listen to that?
Yes, sir, I did.
I did too.
Okay. It sounded, this is the second time I've already said this, that, well, my understanding of his order, and I have not read the brief order, nor have I read all of the 64-page guidance they sent out. But from going what he has said, it appears that he has suspended our ability locally to manage a disaster and to save the flash. And the way that's reading to me, we could go ahead and continue in the belief that he doesn't have the authority to do that, or we could, and if we're going to do that, we still need to make some modifications to our current order, because there are a couple areas in it that we think we need to back up on. And one, everybody now I think of offhand, most of Ms. Jimmy should make something. I'm thinking the child care thing, we've got the masking in there, and they're really the quality of the state agency, so we shouldn't have that in there. We looked at changing slightly the guidelines on religious services. We had masking in there. But our problem now, he has said you cannot have any masking requirement. So that one may well be out. And, you know, we've had some businesses open. I've had texts wanting to know whether they should stay open, whether they should close. And some of them that would close are going to close between now and Thursday night and open back up on Friday at 25% occupancy. Why he didn't pull that trigger today, I don't know.
What businesses are you referring to, Judge?
Restaurants.
Restaurants, bars, mom and pop stores that had been closed that we said could open.
Until Friday.
Furniture store, you know, any of those kind of things that open based on our order.
Well, he says that hair salons,
No,
They cannot open yet.
They cannot open yet.
one minute, hair salons and bars, I've just read it here, I need to find it again.
gyms,
Yeah, they will not be open until phase 2.
midnight.
Phase 2, which was about May 18th, I think he said.
And I think he said barber shop too, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think he said,
So I'm gonna say they're gonna have to close back up. And
Well, most of them didn't open. They realized their license was
yeah. Now,
I understand.
some did.
Yeah,
Some did open.
Yeah.
That's why I look as good as I do today,
yeah.
because Saturday morning they were open.
Okay.
And they were practicing very good health habits. They let one person in the place at a time. I wore a mask, she wore a mask, she wore gloves. I mean, I thought she did a great job in trying to protect our health.
How close are you and your dentist going to get if you go to the dentist right now?
Well, they're second phase, aren't they?
I think they are.
No,
They're open now.
You're right. I got confused. I made a list on what I did with it, but.
But
Well, I guarantee you if I go to the dentist, I won't be wearing a mask.
but your dentist will.
Well, he will.
You know, they get pretty personal with you.
He's the only guy I let tug on my lip.
Well, what is the church ruling here then? I don't see it specifically.
Yeah, it
I
needs
see
to.
it.
Social distancing,
Yeah,
cleanliness,
it's 6
like
foot,
wiping down
6 foot between
surfaces.
chairs, if you're
Yeah.
not in the family party
Well, if you aren't,
And a special place for people who are susceptible.
Susceptible to.
Break them out.
In other words, my wife and I sat next to one another, but Willie's gotta be 6 feet away.
right,
Right.
Yeah, okay.
unless he lives in the same house.
But a lot of times there won't be room for
No,
a portion of the congregation, I guess.
it'll stretch things.
Well, and they're really encouraging that people 65 and over don't.
Go.
attend
Yeah.
these kind of, yes.
They said try to do it remotely.
Now,
Well, the Methodist Church shut down through May as of last week. That was a conference deal that came out. So they're gonna do we're gonna do what we're doing until end of May.
And,
So, which is video service.
well, Judge, why wouldn't we want to just follow the state recommended guidance and
Call it a
down
day.
the work?
Probably the best means forward is just,
Would be a lot less confusing for the people.
it would be a
It
lot
would
less
be.
confusing.
well, and to leave them open is confusing, leaving them possibly just some sort of action. You know, obviously, whether they close or not, if we vacate our order, then it's up to them whether they want to comply with the state order or not.
Well, doesn't the state actually have the hammer? Aren't they the,
Well, the way the law used to be.
You won't fight that out in court?
I don't know.
But
I'm
you
just
can't-
asking,
They wrote them here, and you couldn't lower the requirement less than that.
but you
You
could
could
do
raise
both.
it.
Yeah.
Well, the governor has, in the last 2 public addresses, said he took that game book out and threw it out.
So if we do that, I agree, it would be a lot less confusing. Get on one page, one set of rules, the mask rule goes away.
But he did recommend that we wear a mask.
He and the lieutenant governor both,
But it's optional.
But there's no penalty if you don't.
If you don't.
So we'd have to take our sign down that you can't come in the courthouse without a mask.
Right.
We could enforce that as an institution here.
No,
That's,
I don't think we
I
could.
don't think so.
I don't think you can.
I don't think anybody can.
The judges in
Your own
their
business?
courtrooms and elected officials can, you know, have, and certainly I would wholeheartedly suggest that county employees continue to wear their masks as they interact with the public. But,
Sure.
you know,
It certainly can't hurt anything.
no.
Yeah.
No. But,
Well, Judge, I'll say this, one thing about it, I was proud that our group came to court this morning, abided by the rules that were set forward, and there are some elected officials that are not gonna do that, have already said they're not, and I think that sets a terrible example for the masses when you won't obey your own guidelines.
yeah.
And I was just glad everybody, we didn't pitch fit, we didn't, you just did it and come on, take care of business. And I think that's a good thing, and I think this court should be commended for that. Just
Well,
do
Was
it.
there a city councilman that refused to do
There
that?
is one that says he will not wear one, so, and I think that's a terrible example for the public.
we had one here today that begged that issue, but
Okay.
he did maintain social distance.
Yeah, we have,
Who's here
hard to
today?
ask people to go along with your ruling when you won't follow it yourself, I'll tell you.
That city councilman?
No,
No.
commissioner, no, elected official, county elected official.
Yeah.
Well, do we need a motion, Judge, to move that direction?
Yes, we need a motion now instead of ratifying, we need a motion to.
I would make the motion that we follow in suit with what Governor Abbott and the state of Texas recommends as the guidelines to move forward as we reopen Texas.
And I'll second that.
If for no other reason to make it simple and
To
less confusing.
simplify it for everyone.
Right.
And you know what? Take a lot of pressure off the judge.
A lot of pressure.
Well, and we are moving forward. It's not
Yes.
I'd
like
like to
we're
think
just,
that was true,
you know,
but the time we get through with Happy Book tonight,
Oh, God.
there will be the ones that condemned us for doing the other, now they're condemning us for undoing this and following the governor's order.
Well, I think that we, by law, have to follow the governor's order, I think.
Yeah,
Well, Lee, it's like this, and I understood when the judge told us, at Pleasant Valley, I attended as city manager, went and got licensed to be an on-site sewage facility. within the municipality itself, okay? So that then you could come to us as a citizen of Pleasant Valley and follow the guidelines that Pleasant Valley set forth. The state has recommended guidelines that you put into play if you're going to operate this way. We accepted the state guidelines, and we lived by the state guidelines. We didn't modify them at all. We certainly could, for example, no need to have a system put in by a contractor on a 100-acre place you own. If you want to go stay 10 foot off the boundary line, put in your own system, then
You're not jeopardizing anybody else.
and we accepted that state rule. That's not the the county had stiffened that rule, and so Pleasant Valley, for the length of time that I was doing that, we adhered to what the state said the rule be. And it worked fine. We didn't have any difficulty.
Did you have anything you wanted to say, advise for on, or you?
Not at this time, Judge, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Judge,
Yes.
so will the full order say to follow Governor Abbott's guidelines to reopen Texas and to not ratify it?
No, I think all the order has to say is we're rescinding our order.
So we are rescinding.
We're going
not
to
that
rescind the order, and we'll follow the GA 18.
Now, Judge, there's a guidances for these restaurants, guidances for movie theaters, for museums, specific guidelines in the governor's
Correct.
deal that they need to educate themselves on, and it's not just, it's not a free-for-all. I mean, it's,
But it's Friday, right?
Friday.
It's
Correct.
Friday, yeah.
Correct.
It's not tomorrow, it's Friday, yeah.
but that,
And we'll put in that we encourage them to review and look at the Open Texas and the governor's order.
there's actual checklist in there for people that go to a movie theater and for the movie theater. There's a checklist for both parties.
And do we, Judge, operate how until Friday? Do we?
Well, we would operate under the current order.
We're back on stay home.
We're on the state guideline until
Yeah.
Friday, and then move to the new state guideline.
Which-
Okay.
Which
So we
means
operate under GA 16 and 18 when it comes into place.
essential services only, social distancing,
Yeah.
just right where we were, I
And
guess.
those stay as recommended things.
Yeah.
But until I read that order and notice this, I don't know how, recommendations are recommendations. They're not, it's not you will do this or you shall, or you may avoid, or you could if you want to.
You feel like it.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, exactly, Commissioner. All right, so this order would read, motion by Commissioner Watson, second by Commissioner Beecham to rescind the county judges, which number have you gotten to? 6?
And it really was the word live safe.
Yes.
Work
Yeah,
safe,
that's
live
work
safe.
safe.
The
Yeah.
work safe, live safe, order, and in comply with, GA 16 and 18
Respectfully.
and the document on Texas Helping Texas, the governor's report to Open Texas dated April 27, 2020.
Effective immediately or
Yes.
effective midnight? Effective immediately?
I had hoped when I tuned into that this afternoon that maybe he would maybe go a little closer to what that we had set forward in that last deal, but that's not what it was.
Well, the opening of business and doing what they're doing, I'm not sure why they're off to Friday. I don't do it today. The second thing would be, why not have some of the safeguards? The masking thing, absolutely,
Pretty easy to do,
yeah.
pretty inexpensive, pretty available. It's not like somebody can't get a hold of one if they need one.
But you know, you got Senator Betancourt touting out of Fort Bend County that, well, when they get through the session, these locals aren't gonna run their local government anymore because of the disaster.
This could very well become quite an issue in the legislative session as to how we're gonna rearrange handling these things. I'm be
You
curious.
got people thinking the governor's got too much power.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see. You know,
Did he say that he was following President Trump's and the CDC's guidelines in his deal today?
Okay, he's doing some of that, but you know, the interesting thing, the president said governors run states.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wish you could follow that thought, well, maybe locally elected officials ought to do what's best for their locale. Because it varies, you've got, he said 200 counties in Texas that have 5 cases or less.
Yeah,
And,
it's insignificant.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, it's just, it's not insignificant if it's you, but it's,
well, you know, 2 deaths here is not insignificant, but it's
yeah.
so much better than we were afraid and everybody forecasted with the best intentions. And thankfully, we didn't come close to it.
Never overwhelmed our system,
No.
never even challenged our system,
No.
really. They were just pretty well bored, from what I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we ready to take a vote? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Anything else? Nancy, you mentioned wanting to have a work session on Friday and talk about.
You said just during staff reports.
Or now, or you want to do it then?
It's just asking you about the CTIP. I could bring it up and you all can think about it this week, and then we can have a work session Friday. Because on the application, they want me to project funding, how much money do you think you're going to need for your county roads?
75 million.
Yeah, but what request is this?
It's kind of like CTERS.
CTIP grants coming down the pike?
Oh, this is that new, the
It's
new.
200, it's the new
Yeah,
200.
it's the new.
Now, I only got one road report from you commissioners, so the other 3 that didn't turn theirs in, I need now.
I've got,
Did I not turn mine
Do
in?
you have
I
mine?
don't think so. I think
Is this
City
your
Hall
accident
turned theirs
report?
in.
Well, I know we didn't.
It was on my desk.
mine is pretty much equal to what it was a year ago this time, so.
Well, except for the roads that we redid.
If you- I'm gonna put a copy of this application in your boxes, and if you could think about what roads you need, how much money you're gonna need, because we need to put those numbers down.
But how do we qualify for that, Judge? Do we have to have,
It's on
Oil activity.
oil activity.
Isn't that a joke?
okay, can we use last year's activity instead of today's?
Yeah,
That's what it
I'm
is.
pretty sure that's what it goes off of, that's what Bill,
And
when we worked on it, that's what it was being written off of.
so has that already been decided, how much of that pie we get at a maximum or something?
Yeah, it's based on that
Pretty much.
ratio of everybody submitting, and then it'll go with the highest percentage with the most oil production on down to us. And I don't
You
think
got-
we're gonna qualify for a great deal.
We got briefed on it at DG Young, and I'd have to look at my notes, but it comes down to a pretty small
I think it's less
piece of the pie. I think it's less,
It's less than how much?
than $250,000.
Oh, man.
it's less than we had.
We got over $1 million last time.
Yeah, y'all remember now that precinct 3 gets the lead on that this time, because we laid back last time and
It's 1 and 3.
let y'all
It's
do all.
odd number.
I thought we'd set a precedent and precinct 2 gets half of it automatic.
That's where we were, that's not where we're going.
So I wasn't here last time.
I thought we set a precedent for that.
All right, gentlemen, let's get back to order, and we ready to adjourn. Okay, it's 4:55, and we'll call the